Tron versus Amulet Bloom. I hope you like a lot of mana. Chris on 7, Ollie on 6, Chris on the play. They'll be given the green light, and this should be a lot of fun.
Amulet Bloom having yet to win the trophy at a big tournament. Another finals appearance. I believe it's its 4th finals appearance that I can recall, at least.
I think so.
It's been knocking at the door for a while. Maybe we can get it this time.
A Mana Confluence from Chris in the passing of the turn, and Urza's Mind there from Aintrazi, and he'll pass the turn back. VanMeter will pick up a copy of Summoner's Loom. He has 2 packs in hand now, in Slaughter Pact and Summoner's Pact. So we'll see if Chris can go crazy here. His first turn was rather innocent.
Yeah, well, he has 2 it looks like he has 2 Summoner's Pacts, a Slaughter Pact, a Sunhome, a couple green cards. He may just be over Summer Bloom, which means what he's waiting for is just another bounce land. He can bloom, ramp up to 6, pact for a Titan, go for it that way.
Ollie's second turn is not a great one.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie's not going to turn 3 Tron him. That's great. And we see Hive Mind now the draw for Chris. Even more exciting.
Chris does have the Hive Mind. He's got a Simic Growth Chamber. He also does have a copy of Summer Bloom in his hand. Aintrazi with just a Grove of the Burn Willows on turn number 2, which means no turn 3 Karn this go around. So we'll see what Chris can put together here on his 3rd turn of the game.
There's no real reason for Chris not to just play Summer Bloom and then play Bounce, Simic Growth Chamber, another land to go. It seems like a really medium Summer Bloom, but the only way that this doesn't pay off is if he top decks Amulet of Vigor, which that's a 4 of. I would just as soon ramp. If he draws another bounce land, he's 2 turns away from a Hive Mind kill. It's not fast. I mean, it's a turn 5 kill on the play, but Ollie's not doing that much.
That's the most honest Summer Bloom you're ever going to find.
Summer Bloom play. Explore, don't draw a card.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not impressive at all. Ollie picked up a Karn for the draw step.
CBM knows he's safe for 1 turn. If Ollie plays a 2nd Tron piece, I think Chris will be worried. Because he doesn't have a defense to Karn. Nope. Karn exiling bounce lands is going to mess stuff up.
Yeah, he would have to be extremely worried about that if that's the case. So we'll see if there will be a power plant or if there will be a tower here in just a second. Again, Ollie's 2nd turn, you can really pick up a lot of information from that when he plays the Grove of the Burn Willows. That means, okay, you're only into 6, first of all, and you haven't played anything. You haven't played a relic, a star, a sphere, a map, nothing. Your hand cannot be that good. Now, Ghost Quarter is certainly problematic. I would say it's annoying, to say the least, as now Ollie's going to fire off Ghost Quarter to take care of the Growth Chamber.
Yeah, so Amulet plays 1 basic land in its deck. It's 1 basic forest. So he'll get rid of the blue mana there for Chris. According up, we see Chris did draw Gruul Turf, so he was 2 land drops away from 6. This is a Stone Rain. This will set Chris back a turn. Based off the hand he has, I think that's about all it will do. Now, Ollie plays more than 1 Ghost Quarter in his main deck. He plays a 2nd one, so that one is real good if Ollie can find it. It's good enough that it's worth Expedition mapping for.
Yes.
If Ollie's picking between, I don't know if he'll pick it over a 3rd Tron piece, but maybe. It's that good.
See, right now it's kind of a Stone Rain, but the next Ghost Quarter becomes a Strip Mine.
Yeah.
Just straight up, I sacrifice my land, I kill your land, you have nothing to search for. Again, Chris did pick up a copy of Gruul Turf for the turn.
Right, so the way you just want to think about Chris's hands is just count the overall amount of mana that his cards can make. So, he has 5 mana worth of cards. He's going to use Summer Bloom as another Poor Man's Explorer. He'll ramp up to 5. He doesn't have another land in his hand, but if he top decks a 6th untapped land, he's got Hive Mind to kill.
There's Expedition Map.
It's a start.
But Expedition Map is very slow on this board. Ollie can play a land and Grove of the Burn Willows, and he can play a map and then threaten a search for Ghost Quarter next turn.
Yeah, so if Chris plays a tap land, remember a lot of lands come into play tapped, then Ollie knows, all right, can't get my Tron piece. I need to go get the Ghost Quarter.
Chris peels an untapped one. It's a Simic Growth Chamber. Nope.
It's tapped. That matters.
Quite a bit, in fact.
Quite a bit. So I think Ollie will be forced into mapping for the next Ghost Quarter. You would assume with Chris's hand, it doesn't have lands in it. It doesn't have cantrips in it. It's got Titans in it. As soon as he gets 6 mana, things are going to happen.
Chris going to play the Growth Chamber, pick up his basic forest. Now, I think what Chris is maybe considering right now, and I'm curious if you believe this is an option or not. Summoner's Pacting for a Sousa to just play a land. Does that do anything for him?
He'd have to pay for a Sousa. I'm not. No, just play them on. I would just play them on curve.
Okay.
Because he has to pay for it next turn. It doesn't actually increase his clock. He doesn't have enough mana to pay for that and play Hive Mind. The pacts are really just here. I mean, Because Ollie is representing double green already and there's no creatures in play, the Slaughter Pact in Chris's hand isn't any good. So I actually want to hang on to the second green pact so that when I hit 6 lands, I can just go Hive Mind, Pact, and just make sure that I win.
Got it. Ali is obviously under the gun here, so instead of searching for another Tron piece, he has to get another Ghost Quarter, which will play the role of Strip Mine here.
Sometimes you'll see an Amulet player play a second forest or maybe even an island. Krista plays none of them. Talked before about how you have some utility slots to work with in the deck list. Things like second Vesuva, extra basics, second Cavern of Souls, your Radiant Fountain. Do you want to run Glimmer Posts instead of Radiant Fountain?
Yeah, we've seen that before. There's Ghost Quarter. That one going to be playing a huge role in this matchup for Aintrazi. If he can't just overpower VanMeter with his Tron and Karn, he'll have to mess with VanMeter's lands a little bit, which is what Ghost Quarter is going to do right now. It'll hit the Simic Growth Chamber. Ali knows VanMeter's deck list. That's public knowledge between both players, so he knows it's good.
Ali's playing this very well. He's hitting the Growth Chamber every time, which seems to me like the play he wants to make.
VanMeter drew a copy of Amulet of Vigor, so he will play that, pass the turn back. And we're in the same spot as we were last time. However, a land that enters the battlefield tapped is actually now good too.
Yeah, Amulet, not a great draw there. I mean, you're right. It does turn on his untapped lands to help him win. So Ali's got to have a Karn before Chris hits a land. It's unlikely, but not impossible. Actually, a Sylvan Scrying from Ali does it too.
Chris drew another pact.
Another Summer's Pact. That is nothing.
So Ali is actually live here because Chris's hand is black.
That draw did nothing.
So now
he's got a few of those, like another Hive Mind.
Yep.
He could draw. There's things Chris can draw that miss.
Now Ali has a lot of ways to find the Tron piece here. He can find the Tron piece itself. He could maybe backdoor into Bobble. He could draw Sylvan Scrying. He could Stirrings into it.
Yeah, so he has a Stirrings. He has the Karn. I think he just needs the tower.
He needs the Tower of Power. He gets to get 5 shots at it right now. So away we go from Mr. Aintrazi.
The game's riding on this one.
Ha-ha!
And this has been a well-played game from Ali. And he's been rewarded.
It's the Tower of Power. That turns on the Tron. Now VanMeter's wondering, all right, do you have Karn? We already know the answer to that question.
And there's very little coming back from this on Chris's side. Karn exiles Gruul Turf if Ali plays this right. And I don't see Chris ever... I mean, you want to see him getting up to 6 mana. Then what he has to start doing is he has to top deck a bounce land and a Summer Bloom and just not play the bounce land and try to get back up to 6 that way.
See you later, Gruul Turf. Karn Liberated is here. Not impressed by Gruul Turf one bit. There's an Amulet of Vigor.
That's actually a very good draw. So Chris can play the Amulet, and now if he top decks the bounce land, he will still be in good shape to win.
Okay. There's second Amulet. Pass the turn back over to Aintrazi. Aintrazi will take a draw. Remember, Ali with 2 main deck Ghost Quarters. He's out of those. He's used them both.
Yep.
Picked up a copy of Expedition Map. That's not going to help a ton here. He's got the Tron, and Eye of Ugin's a little too slow at this point.
But we'll see whether he feels... I think whether he wants to plus the Karn, he wants to minus it again. There's not that much value to... So minusing the Karn to hit an Amulet of Vigor will take away the possibility that Chris can win next turn. Unless he has a bounce land in Summer Bloom. Chris has neither. But Ali doesn't really know that. He probably suspects it.
Yeah, that's the question, is Ali kind of put him on that sort of thing where, okay, I can die if you draw a bounce land. Like, you wonder, trying to get into a head of an Amulet player, or how much Ali actually knows about how Amulet Bloom works. Thankfully, you're next to me. You're saving my life.
I get to see his hand. It's, you know, that's makes this a lot easier.
Expedition Map is going to sacrifice here off of the tower. Now, what he can do with the Expedition Map here is just free roll a tower, basically. You know, he uses the 3 mana, 1 for Expedition Map, 2 to sacrifice, get another tower, get you plus 3 mana.
It's building up to Emrakul, I'm imagining.
Because if he gets Emrakul, well, we know it's lights out then.
Yeah, the thing is that plussing Karn is so bad on this board.
It's horrible.
That I think Ali is supposed to, like, if he knew Chris's hand, the correct play is to minus and kill an Amulet. Now, are you supposed to do that not knowing all this information? Maybe not.
Yep. And also, you know, if he minuses here, you can take a look at Ali's hand. I don't think there's a backup Karn. I believe his hand at this point is just a Wormcoil Engine.
That's a long ways off.
Yeah.
Does he have a way to search? He has Eye in hand.
Okay.
So he can build toward Emrakul relatively quickly, I believe. So he's already at 12 mana. So next turn he can play Eye, search up Emrakul, and then the next turn he has Emrakul.
Yep.
So he's 2 turns off. But yeah, the safest thing is to... So 1 amulet is fine. 2 amulets is when things get way out of control with this deck. A 2nd amulet should just be red flags for anyone playing against the deck.
And now Ali is doing a little bit of math on what am I supposed to exile with Karn? Am I supposed to take a land? Am I supposed to take amulet?
It's supposed to be... a land won't solve it, because Chris will still be down to 2 lands. A bounce on a Bruce 4, it'll still be 6.
Now, is there any merit to just taking out the mana confluence there? Just should always be amulet, I suppose?
Well, so because all the bounce lands are green, and Chris can pact for a Primeval Titan. So, yeah, if you take out mana confluence, it means that Chris needs a Simic Growth Chamber to hive mind him that turn. But
let's see what the draw is. A copy of Serum Visions. We'll see if Chris can get anywhere with this.
yeah, Ali on point with every decision so far.
Yeah. Chris will draw a card. Another copy of Hive Mind. That doesn't help very much. I think it needed to be a land then.
Yeah, just lands.
Both cards going to go to the bottom.
And we are 2 turns away from Emrakul. Chris will get 1 more draw before he gets Emrakul, I believe.
Yep.
And I don't know what that 1 draw looks like that will save him here.
Ancient Stirring is the draw here for Aintrazi. Ali gets the ability right now, given how much mana that he has, that Ancient Stirrings is kind of a free roll. So if he does find a card like Karn, he can cast it and keep going that direction. And if he doesn't, he still has enough mana to Ugin and search. So he will cast Ancient Stirrings.
So Eye of Ugin and search, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Eye of Ugin. Not Ugin the Spirit Dragon. That is important.
Eye of Ugin can't find Ugin.
Yeah. Bad
That's
design. Bad design. Are they going to take a look at those 5 cards? There's some lands in there. There's also Oblivion Stone too. But at this point, keep it simple if you're on Aintrazi. You're a turn away from Emrakul. I think that's the direction you want to go if you can.
I suppose the Eldrazi were trapped inside of the Eye of Ugin. Ugin just trapped them there. So maybe it makes sense. We'll give it a pass.
That's actually probably true. There's O-Stone.
That was a good find. That gives him, well,
it's fine.
no, it still doesn't do anything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, that one doesn't.
Hive Mind still kills
Yeah,
him.
that one doesn't matter very much. At the end of the day, as Wormcoil Lynch is going to come across, and this is important that Ali doesn't shift focus to something else. Because he doesn't really need O-Stone at this point. He can play O-Stone. It's still free for him to cast because he has so much mana that he can still play Eye of Ugin, search for Emrakul, and wrap this game up all in 1 turn.
So plays the Oblivion Stone. Will he go for the Eye then? I think so. Yeah, he has full Tron 7 to activate it if he has one in hand. I believe he does, but
Yep.
I'm not positive. Yeah.
You see, he's doing the math here.
So yeah, the math is 7 for 1 full set of Tron, 3 more for the tower is 10, 2 lands is 12. I discounts Emrakul to 13.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easier to just think of I as a Tron piece, as a
Okay,
non-tower
yeah,
Tron
yeah,
piece.
it's a
It's just
non-tower
plus 2
Tron piece.
mana.
So you have 13. He has,
His 14 right
14.
now. Any land, assuming he has one in his hand, does it.
and he has enough mana to go get Emrakul.
Yep. And I'm with you, as Ali will pass the turn back. Chris is on an offer, I believe. I think Chris is out in this situation. I hope you don't search for Emrakul.
Yeah, I mean, he has 2 Hive Minds, 4 packs, draws a 3rd Hive Mind. So he has 3 Hive Minds, 3 green packs, a black one. That's a lot of blech.
It's a Hive Mind theme deck. That's what he has.
Yeah.
It's time to search with Eye of Ugin. This is an Eldrazi theme deck.
With 1 Eldrazi?
Yes.
I don't know about your designing of theme decks.
Well, that's why I do this and not design. There's Emrakul.
And we searched up. So Ali playing the mana denial package strategy just well enough to keep Chris off 6 for the entire game.
Yeah.
And remember, Ali did nothing quick. His first lands were a Tron piece and then 2 Grove of the Burn Willows,
Yeah.
and then played some Ghost Quarters, and you know, he made Tron, I believe, on turn 7.
It took a little while to get there.
Yeah.
But he got there and he's taking advantage of it now. There's the power play, and Chris says, all right, I'm dead. If you show me a land, I'm dead. And he is. Ali Aintrazi is going to win game number 1 here over Chris VanMeter. Green-red Tron up a game over Amulet Bloom. The sideboards is where things get interesting. Again, I think that was a very important game for Chris to win. I think he's a pretty big favorite in game number 1. because of Ollie's sideboard. We'll get there in just a moment. We'll start with Chris, and we'll analyze that. His Chalice of the Void, his Chromatic Lantern, Engineer Explosives, Hornet Queen, Ghost Quarter. 3 Thragtusk, 3 Leyline of Sanctity, 2 Seal of Primordium, and 2 copies of Pyroclasm. We saw in the matchup against Jund, against Josh Ravitz, where he boarded into kind of this mid-rangey weird thing with Thragtusk and Hornet Queen. I don't think he'll be doing that here.
I want the Ghost Quarter to keep him off Tron. And Chalice of the Void on the play is pretty good because I would like to stick a Chalice for 1 against Tron.
Any worries about that shutting off your own stuff? Like Stirrings, like Amulet?
If you were to say, I guess, 5 being complete disaster and 1 being not caring, like, how bad is it for Tron to have a Chalice for 1 on the board? Because it's about a 2.5 for Amulet.
So I guess the way I would look at it is, okay, if Chalice for 1 is on the board, it feels like Stony Silence is on the board.
Right.
And I don't like playing in Stony Silence.
Right. So, I mean, it turns out, so Chris can play his Amulet. If he has an Amulet in his opener, he can play it before playing Chalice. And turn 1 Amulets are the only Amulets I care about. So I don't actually feel like it turns off Amulet. It might turn off some of the cantrips, but so if Amulet can't cantrip, and as a result, Tron can't cantrip, that's a good trade. I'm willing to pay a card for that trade. Tron has to cantrip way harder than Amulet does.
Ollie is where things get interesting. His 2 Crucible of the Worlds and a 3rd Ghost Quarter. The rest of this stuff, the 2 Thragtusk, the 2 Boils, 4 Nature Claims, 3 Rending Volleys, and the Relic of Regenis, those don't matter a ton. I might want to board in some number of Nature's Claims. It's narrow, but killing Amulet is pretty important because we're just purely racing.
Yeah, well, I was talking about how the draws that Chris really wants in this matchup. There's 2 draws that ways the Amulet plays. There's the fast Amulet combo hands, and then there's just the Summer Bloom value hands. You can kind of divide them that way. And the value hands are, they're games like that. They're fights. Ollie can fight those. He needs to stop the Amulet hands. So some numbers of Nature's Claims are pretty good here, especially because he's already playing cards like Relic of Progenitus, things that don't really do very much in the matchup. He has 4 Pyroclasms to board out. I mean, yeah, we'll get rid of those.
Yes.
So I think he brings maybe even in all of them just because he has a bunch of terrible cards.
Yeah, that and Relic of Progenitus are both horrible, so he can just move those cards.
But 2 Crucible of Worlds and another Ghost Quarter. I have not played against this out of Tron, but I am very worried for Chris.
That's because we really haven't seen this out of Tron sideboards before. So this is where things get tough for Chris because now he's playing against 3 Ghost Quarters and 2 Crucibles, and we saw what Ghost Quarter did that game. The first one slowed down a bounce land and let Chris get a basic for us. The second one played the role of Strip Mine, and recurring Strip Mines, as some Cube players know, is very powerful. So
you can't beat it when he gets it going.
Yeah,
that's the thing. If you haven't already won, I mean, your land count is going to go down, so the only way you start winning is if you get a Bloom Amulet hand and just, quote-unquote, ritual your way up to your combo.
Yeah.
No, the idea that someone could Crucible Ghost Quarter the deck seems a disaster.
And perhaps that's why Ollie had it in his sideboard for this particular tournament. We'll see if maybe he just had that just for this matchup and how effective it can be. We'll very quickly talk about, before game number 2, the IQ series here on Star City Games. Our invitational qualifiers are a really, really great program, and we've got players playing in a couple behind us right now, actually, a standard one and a legacy one, so they're getting their fix, Todd Anderson among them. But you can have them in your local store as well. If you talk to your local tour organizer, they can get in touch with Star City Games, and we can get them going. The big ones, like the Supers and the Moderns, are just normal IQ as well. But they have exclusive prizes like playmats, dice bags, creature collection pins, top 8 pins, that Jacob Wilson token that you do see. That's an invitational winner token. And of course, SCG premium vouchers so you can read articles by Jerry Thompson, Todd Anderson, Brian Kibler, Patrick Chapin, and the rest of the gang. StarCityGames.com for more information about our fantastic IQs. Those tournaments really helped Kevin Jones, again, qualify for the Players' Championship. A player like Logan Mize, Jim Davis as well. Again, StarCityGames.com for more information about that as we get ready here for game number 2 between Green Red Tron and Amulet Bloom. Aintrazi able to win game number 1 off of the power of Ghost Quarter, and VanMeter drawing a land that enters the battlefield tapped at the wrong time for once.
Yeah, it was interesting. So there are some situations. Yeah, Chris had a couple turns where he could have drawn a a bounce land to cast the 6 mana.
Yep.
Then we started losing down lands. He had a turn where he was down, and maybe he would have had to pact for Azusa if he'd drawn a bounce land, bounce it a couple times, and then go off. But eventually he got to the point of where he had so few lands that none of this mattered.
Yeah. And then Ollie was able to take advantage with Karn to win that particular game. So VanMeter will be on the play for game number 2 against Aintrazi. We'll see if he's able to keep 7 cards. Again, these decks, really, when you're mulliganing, you're just looking for your most busted draws. It's pretty ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah, well, the big thing is the really good draws from Amulet are just great here.
Yeah.
And they force Ollie to have Nature's Claims and not much else. Ollie has no Chalice of the Voids here, so that's not going to be as big of a problem.
Yeah, it also just forces Ollie to have, as you said, Nature's Claim or a card like Ghost Quarter.
Yeah.
Now, he does have 3 of those, and that can mess with things.
I mean, the question is, right, if your opponent just goes land go, are you going to lead on Ghost Quarter with the Tron deck? Because you may need to do that if you want to stop the turn 2 kills.
I don't want to.
Right, so how, I mean, are you going to? Like, that's, ugh. Maybe you're supposed to do it.
Serum Visions is where VanMeter will begin off of a Gemstone Mine. He's already drawn his card. He'll scry 2.
If you have Natural Tron, yeah.
Yeah, if you have Natural Tron plus Ghost Quarter, where do you start?
Right.
I don't know. Grove of the Burnwillow is the draw. Saw both players keep 7 cards. There's a power plant. There's an expedition map. Pass the turn back over to VanMeter. He'll take a draw.
Chris does have at least 1 Amulet of Vigor in his hand and a Summer Bloom. I don't know if he has the Titan. I don't believe so. I believe he's Amulet, Summer Bloom, a bunch of lands. One of them's Teleria West.
Okay.
That's not bad, but he can't do that until... Yeah, I actually think what he wants to do then is just Summer Bloom and dump lands on the table.
Just ramp up.
Yeah, and actually you can mix this in, so you can mix an Amulet into this, but I don't... If he had that, that's a reasonable way to... Yeah, just ramp up.
All right, here's the Stirrings.
Stirrings is good here. I would have rather seen the other play. Just make a bunch of land drops. Yeah, Chris is seeing 1 too many cards off Ancient Stirrings. It's actually only top 5.
Yeah.
There'll be a judgment call involved in that. Chris has scryed, so he'll have to maintain his scryed cards. The judge will likely give him a warning, and this will have to be re-resolved. I don't believe... you can say, oh, this one is the one that should have gone back. That argument usually does not work.
And he's also shuffled the cards around
Yeah.
a little bit in his hand, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a card at random that goes back. We will obviously get confirmation on exactly what the ruling will be here. You kind of see he's explaining exactly what did happen.
That's a reasonable mistake.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, we have seen stranger things happen, and when we do get the ruling on exactly what will occur, and I think it's a GRV. I think it's probably just a game rules violation, maybe a warning.
Unless he has a ton of those, which, unless he has a ton of those, it should be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. So I can't imagine a game without somebody involved. But again, we have our head judge, Riki Hayashi, down there. He's obviously watching over the finals of the tournament, so we'll let you guys know exactly what the ruling is. For now, we're back here in the booth. Cedric Phillips, Matthias Hunt, Patrick Sullivan, also part of the coverage team this particular weekend. Amulet Bloom currently down a game. If you're Chris, losing that first game, kind of tough. His hand didn't come together very well, but the entire time he was either 1 land away or he was 1 bounce land away on that one particular turn as well. So even though things got grim with Ollie having double Ghost Quarter and Karn, the fact that he could still win just shows you how good the matchup is for Amulet Bloom. And that's not to say that Ollie can't win. It's just this deck is resilient, man. He can fight through stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are just... in a lot of ways, like a Hive Mind deck where you are getting to 6 mana and your plays at 6 are very powerful. They're game-ending plays. So yeah, the pressure's on your opponent to do something before you just hit 6 mana from playing your lands.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it this game. It's a better hand. This one, he's resolving Ancient Stirrings, and I believe he'll be continuing to resolve Ancient Stirrings in just a bit. And we'll probably see Summer Bloom, and it looks like a pretty good start. Ollie's start just looks okay, even though he's just played an Expedition map, which will give him access to Ghost Quarter on turn 3 at the latest. He might just naturally draw one since he has 3 after sideboard. So we'll see how things kind of break down in that particular game. Update for you guys, it's a warning for looking at too many cards off of an Ancient Stirrings, which is what we thought it would be. So we're going back down now, as that has been taken care of by our head judge, Riki Hayashi, and things will continue here. A random card shuffled away, and we will get confirmation on what was taken off the Ancient Stirrings if we can, as it was revealed, of course. We just joined the game a little late there. Another Gemstone Mine here from Chris will allow him to deploy an Amulet. And what he's setting up for is a big turn.
Yeah, so now, well, last turn he had Bounce Land Summer Bloom. So that's not actually new. The question is whether he has anything to do with it yet. He does have a Teleria West, but so now you have to get to 9 mana instead of just 6. And he has 8 on the board next turn. The Bloom plus Bounce Land produces 6.
Simic Growth Chamber was the weapon of choice there for VanMeter off of the Stirrings. Ollie going to play a Chromatic Sphere. We'll see if he wants to cash that in right now. It looks like he will for a green mana, so he can cast Nature's Claim. which he does have in his hand, that can take care of the Amulet of Vigor. So he will do that. Spell Skite, the draw off of the Chromatic Sphere. Now, we'll go to Chris's turn here in just a moment. Let's talk about Spell Skite in this matchup and how much of an effect does it have? Because clearly it's not good against the Hive Mind portion, but it is good against the Primeval Titan portion of the deck.
It takes the Slayer's stronghold away from Primeval Titan is the main thing it does, which isn't terrible. It gives you extra turns when Chris makes Titans. And some decks can't capitalize on that. Like Jund wouldn't be interested in that effect because once there's Titans down, then you're getting more Titans. Well, it's about killing Titans. But in Tron's situation, yeah, you'd like to slow down those combo turns so they don't just kill you when they combo you, and Spellskite's going to do a very good job of that.
Slayer Stronghold is the land. We're going to see Summer Bloom here from Chris.
Yeah. So this is what I kind of wanted to, just wondering whether Chris would just do last turn. Just play a value Summer Bloom where you play Summer Bloom and use the fact that bounce lands can give you lots of land drops to just play lands.
That's exactly what he's done. He's played a Simic Growth Chamber and a Golgari Rot Farm, picked up 2 Gemstone Mines, and replayed one of them. So now, going into his next turn, he's got 2, 4, 5, at least 6 mana. And he's got a Gemstone Mine in his hand, so he can have access to 7 mana next turn. I think the problem right now for Chris's hand is he does not have the payoff card.
So what I think Chris wanted to do was either if turn 2 Summer Bloom, or if he wasn't going to make the turn 2 Summer Bloom play, on this third turn, he would have wanted to play Amulet and then use the value Bloom all on the same turn, so he'd at least get 1 untap off his bounce lands, because with 1 extra untap, he can actually transmute Teleria West that turn. So by that sequencing, he's actually set himself back a turn this game.
Ollie with an Urza's Tower to go along with his power plant, so all he's missing is a mine. He conveniently has Expedition Map in play to be able to search for the mine. However, he might have interest instead of searching for mine and completing Tron in searching for Ghost Quarter and starting to mess with Chris's land. So we'll see what route he wants to go. As you can see, he's beginning to do a little bit of math here to figure out what's the best route to go.
Ghost Quarter is reasonable. It keeps Chris off double blue. So if you remember, the Ghost Quarter target should be those Simic Growth Chambers.
Yep.
Double blue's great for Teleria West, double green's what's needed for Primeval Titan. Now, you're probably not going to keep Chris off green this game, just in general, but keeping him off blue seems very reasonable.
I believe Chris picked up a copy of Boros Garrison for the turn.
Yeah.
He does have Teleria West in hand right now.
Yeah, you never really want to draw the Garrison.
You see his hand, it's 4 lands. Cavern of Souls, Boros Garrison, Teleria West, and a Gemstone Mine.
It's one of the fun parts about the deck. His hand is 4 lands, and yet it's really good. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. He'll transmute for a Summoner's Pact, probably play Garrison and pick up something, and then next turn he will have 8 mana available. He'll Titan. He won't have enough to haste the Titan, but it's still a start. This is a good value hand. This is a hand I'd still be okay with against something like Jund. Against Tron, I'm very worried that my Tron opponent is just going to start Karning me. And in Chris's situation, this hand's slow. And a lot of that is because of that initial sequencing. The Amulet didn't count for anything. The Summer Bloom was cast a turn late. And you need to be fast in this matchup.
It's really about being fast and as being efficient as possible.
Right, so if you just ignore this hand without Amulet, and you turn 2 play Summer Bloom, play 3 lands. Turn 4, that was turn 2. Turn 3, just transmute a Teleria West. You have a Titan on turn 4. And actually you can wait until that, because you'll have 7 lands on that turn 4, you can wait and on that turn say Amulet and Titan all at once. And that's reasonable.
Now this is interesting. Chris transmuting for Pact and Negation, and it actually was considering Chalice of the Void. So he's looking for protection right now.
This is not where he wants to be. I understand why he's doing it, but yeah, so you've answered Tron's first big threat. That's great.
Yeah.
The problem is that Tron reloads better than you do. Like what's going to happen first? Will Chris find another Titan first, or will Ollie find another Haymaker? And I put the odds on Tron there. And also there's a chance that Ollie just actually has 2 big cards already in his hand.
Yeah, Chris is playing defensive now.
Yeah, maybe he feels like
search.
he has to, but it's not going to go well. I mean, there's a reason that control decks don't like playing against Tron. Defending against Tron's really hard.
Ollie going to search up Urza's Mine, of course, to complete the Tron. Again, he had the option of that or Ghost Quarter in that instance. He's decided to go with the Mine. The draw for the turn was a copy of Chromatic Star. The question is, does Ollie have payoffs at this point? He's got plenty of mana as he's completed the Tron. And I think you might be seeing an Ancient Stirrings here now.
Yeah, maybe seeing if he can upgrade the kind of card he's going to cast.
So there is Stirrings. And in this situation, you're on the hunt for Karn. And there is Big Papa. Make it 2.
Karn enough, just better than Ghost Quarter here.
And now, this is what Chris was afraid of. And now that's why he searched for pack negation. But again, we're going to see if this works out.
If you're Ollie, I feel like you just run this Karn right into the pact and you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Great. It's Chris's turn for your turn. Let's race to find another one.
And Ollie's got a lot of cantrips in his hand in the chromatic effects, so I would be perfectly fine with that. There's your pack negation.
Yeah, I don't think from Chris's side he can transmute for Karn, like, he needs to transmute for Summoner's Pact there. Let Karn come get played. Let Karn eat his land, and then top deck an untapped land and make a Titan anyway. And are you going to win that game? Maybe not, but this game's harder.
Serum Vision's the draw. That gemstone mine will go down to 1. Chris will get the cantrip and then scry 2. Looks like you picked up a copy of Summoner's Pact.
That's great. Okay, that's a Titan. That's another threat. So we've set the gains out who can get to their threats first. As they reload, Chris has got there.
Yep.
Now, Ollie might already have a threat in his hand. That's a danger.
And it looks as though Ollie is going to have at least a couple looks at it. You take his draw step into account. Of course, the cycling of chromatic spheres and stars. Maybe an Ancient Stirrings gets drawn. He'll probably be able to find something to do. And if it's not that, then maybe he finds a Ghost Quarter. So I can't imagine Ollie's turn will turn up to be empty. Chris can put 1 card on the top and 1 card on the bottom.
That's great for Chris. To be honest, in this kind of board state, you're scrying 80 to 90% of the cards in your deck to the bottom of the deck. So he found another one that he actually likes. I'm very excited about that for him.
Boros Garrison is the play. Pick up a gemstone mine that had 1 counter left, and he'll pass the turn back. You see Garrison hanging out with the Slayer Stronghold over there. They're good partners in crime.
They work well together.
Aintrazi with 2 copies of Expedition Map in hand. So he's got a lot of mana available, and we'll see what he can do with it.
So there's a chance here, if all Chris is doing, correct me if I'm wrong here, if all Chris is doing is making a Titan next turn, Ollie's at 20, Chris doesn't have an amulet, and Ollie can leave up a Nature's Claim. Rather than getting Ghost Quarter here, could Ollie just get Eye of Ugin and then and just like have Emrakul race what Chris is doing? Or are we're still a turn off
I think we're a turn off of that at this point. 7, 8 mana. We're a little ways away from Emrakul working its way into the picture. I would still want to take a defensive stance if I'm Ollie in this situation. I'm okay with Ghost Quartering. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. You know, with what his hand looks like at this point, which he has 2 spheres and stars, I would want to start there and just cycle as much as possible, because if I just work my way into a Karn, like that's kind of the best thing I can do anyway this turn.
The issue is that the Ghost Quarter is not actually defense against Chris's board right now.
At this point, no.
Right? So his payoffs are 6, and Chris has 8 mana in play. So the Spellskite's defense against Slayer's Stronghold, that's good. A fan of that. That means that his quarters can go after bounce lands. And did he pick the Growth Chamber or the Rot Farm?
Well, we're going to find out in a moment whichever card goes to the graveyard. It looked like the Rot Farm.
So the only thing the black mana's for in the deck actually is Slaughter Pact, which is probably not even in the deck.
And you felt that Ghost Chamber was right all along, so that's the one that you went for. Now, Chris should still have the basic forest in the deck.
The question is it in its hand? It's not. I hope not. That would be bad for him.
Yeah, his hand right now is Summoner's Pact, Cavern of Souls, and Gemstone Mine. So there's the basic forest. Unless he sideboarded out for some reason, which that's not a thing.
He'd board more of them in if he had them. He does not, though.
Take a look at Chris's mana base right now. Boros Garrison along with the Slayer Stronghold, a forest, a Golgari Rot Farm, and then a Gemstone Mine that has 2 counters on it. And then those cards in hand, Cavern of Souls, another Gemstone Mine, and the Summoner's Pact. So we're probably looking at a Titan this turn, but we're not looking at a hasty one because of the Spellskite that's on the battlefield. VanMeter going to untap. We'll take a draw. We'll see what this nets him. At the very least, he's got a Titan in his hand. He picked up a copy of Amulet. Does that work its way into things?
So it means yes and no. It means that Chris can get a lot of mana here. He might be able to set up a situation where he where he gets to make Titan and then transmute a Teleria West in the same turn. That's what he's going for, because he can't Slayer Stronghold anymore. Spellskite takes care of that. So yeah, the Amulet's good. It's not great, but it's probably better than your average draw.
Summoner's Pact going to be cast. VanMeter going to go Titan hunting. There is prime time. And now it's time to cast this bad boy. Now for Chris, this is the part that gets tough. Now, We're going to see Primeval Titan here in just a second. I ask you, what's our plan as far as what are we going to search up here?
Well, I mean, so the issue is that you're right. Tron actually goes bigger than you do. So eventually these Titans just don't win the game. And when you get to that point, life's difficult. You're probably still just getting a Simic Growth Chamber and a Teleria West. You're going to try to get more action, transmute for something else.
Chris trying to figure out how he wants to cast the Titan, perhaps. He's going to play the Amulet now.
Right, then cast the Titan. It's great.
I believe Ali has access to Nature's Claim in hand, so he's probably going to pause Chris. Yep, he does.
If he has it, he should certainly use it here.
There is Nature's Claim.
I don't actually think that changes what Chris searches out. It just means that it takes him longer to get here.
So Amulet's gone. VanMeter gets some more life. Hooray! That doesn't matter all that much.
Chris has 3 green sources in play, so Growth Chamber, Teleria West, he should be fine on green mana.
Yeah, he has to make sure he doesn't get Ghost Quarter off of green mana.
Yeah, now he also has a Ghost Quarter in his deck. He can try to quarter Ali off of Tron, but if Ali didn't have another payoff spell in his hand right now, I don't know how important it is to just, like, Ali will reassemble Tron. I think Chris wants to be the proactive deck, not the reactive deck, so Growth Chamber, Teleria West, I think is a slight edge to something like Ghost Quarter, but...
The thing is going after the Lance with Ghost Quarter, I don't like, because, especially when I know that Ali is boarding into Crucibles as well. He can actually rebuild better than the normal Tron deck would be able to.
Yeah, well, if Ali hits a Ghost Quarter, if Ali already has a quarter in his own yard, so if Ali hits Crucible, things are murky.
Yeah, that's true.
But I want another threat. I think if I'm Chris, I would like the opportunity to just make another Titan and another one and win that way.
Try to close it out as fast as you can.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, he will probably get an attack off this Titan, which means he can do all of that later, meaning that getting Ghost Quarter off that one means next turn he can play the Ghost Quarter untapped for turn and then get the Teleria West in his hand. So, or we actually play it this turn. So actually, this is probably the best immediate defense as long as he thinks his Titan isn't going to die.
Now we get to play the Ghost Quarter guessing game. Now, in your draw step, you definitely do this in the draw step to hope that Ali draws the Forest. And now you figure out what land you want to target. He's going to go after Urza's Mine. In reality, you're kind of playing a guessing game there, but I also think, and we have to go back and look, I think Ali searched for a tower that Chris knows about already, and that's the last card in Ali's hand.
So we should back up here. I actually want to go ahead and said before, I think Chris actually did the right land search here, going with how this played out. If he had not played his land for the turn, the value of a Ghost Quarter this turn, and the fact that he gets another land next turn is probably the best way to do this. So this was a really good find from Chris.
Okay. Ali's going to search up the forest, as that was not his draw. And again, Chris already knew about the tower, so the choice was between Urza's Mine and Urza's Power Plant. Just flip a coin. Doesn't matter which one you pick. Just hope for the best and hope they don't draw one. Now, Ali's got some redraws here with those stars that are in play, and those stars can work their way into Expedition maps or Sylvan Scryings or Ancient Stirrings to reassemble Tron. That's what makes the deck so good, is that it consistently has Tron, and we'll see if Ali can put it back together. Can't forget about Crucible Worlds as well.
Yeah, so the interesting thing out here is that if Ali finds a Crucible, he doesn't actually ever have to get Tron. He can just win that way. But he is going to have to kill Primeval Titan, which right now he doesn't have a way to do.
The draw there is an Ancient Stirrings. Rebuy. See if he can find what he's looking for. Karn is on top, but keep in mind, no Tron.
Yeah, he has Karn and Wormcoil available to him. Now, Wormcoil is not going to be great here. It will be, well, it'll actually be okay. So because of Spellskite, you could get Wormcoil and try to grind through Primeval Titans. Normally, you'll have the problem that the Primeval Titans will start double striking their way past Wormcoils, but Spellskite means that it is not unreasonable for him to just try to fight Titans.
Let's see if Ali can peel that missing Tron piece off of this Chromatic Sphere.
I like the play. Let's see it. That'd be great.
You have to try.
Another Wormcoil. Well, that actually is another sphere. Another Wormcoil. Yeah, the Wormcoil.
Already has the Wormcoil in hand. He'll cycle again. Again, he can work his way to it. Now, did he find the Tron piece? No. Did he find land number 6 and Grove of the Burn Willows? Yes. So that's a way to go. He can play a honest game with Tron and just hard cast his spells without cheating them for a bunch of mana.
I mean, I'm similarly disappointed in the honest game going on the Amulet side. We're playing 6/6 tramples. Our game plan is to make like 3 6/6 tramples and hope that he can kill with them. That's one of the less broken things you can do.
Chris gonna pay for his summoners back. That Spellskite's really gonna mess things up here.
Spellskite's good here. Yeah, those.
Gruul Turf was the draw.
Yeah, I mean, Amulet Bloom is not great in these top deck wars. Gruul Turf's not a terrible draw because what it means is that this Titan can fetch I believe he has 2 Teleria West left. It can just fetch Teleria West, and then he can start manually bouncing them with his land drop for turn.
Got it. Titan attacks, little search action.
Yeah. If you get both, he's going to get a bounce land on Teleria West, which is reasonable because it will then protect your Teleria West from a ghost. Well, it won't really protect them from a ghost quarter anyway. Yeah, both are fine.
And he's going to trigger, pick up the Teleria West, and then he can transmute Teleria West, get a Titan, but he won't be able to play Titan this turn.
Yeah, I think you want to get both Teleria Wests in case something happens to your Titan. In the meantime, you're probably fine both ways. I bet they seem to end in the same spot.
Yeah, it's a weird game we're in that Spellskite is providing protection that is very, very important against Wormcoil Engine. It's very strange.
Yeah, you want because Ollie wants Wormcoils to trade with Titans, not chump block Titans.
Yeah. So there's Gemstone Mine. It'll come with 3 counters. That's Chris's land for the turn, which means he's going to transmute here. We'll see what he wants to search for now.
I think it's Slaughter Pact or Pact of Negation.
I actually like
both
Pact
are
of Negation.
fine. Both are pretty good. Like he needs to stop. Yeah, Pact of Negation is probably better in case Ollie top decks the third Tron part. He probably doesn't have Slaughter Pact in his list either.
Yeah, it's probably out of the deck now. I like Pact of Negation and taking a defensive stance now once you're ahead.
Yeah.
I think that's much better for Chris.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's better.
Because Chris knows about the Wormcoil Engine that's in hand.
So the Titan should be able to, depending on whether he's kept both Pact of Negations in or not, he could do that again next turn.
And there's Wormcoil Engine, and this is likely to get pacted.
Yeah, I think he definitely wants to pact it. Yeah, so yeah, he has kept both. Right, he has kept both Pact Negations in. So that's all 2 in the list. The next threat Ollie has will resolve.
Well, Ollie's draw for the turn, last turn, was a Karn Liberated. Now, the question is, does he have land number 7 in hand? We're clearly going to find out next turn. For now, VanMeter's going to pay for the Pact and move along accordingly. Again, remember, this is actually, for Chris, and we'll see what he ends up drawing. It looks like just another land. This is a turn I want to use Slayer Stronghold.
Just to deal 2 damage.
Yep, because right now the clock is from 14 to 8,
Sure.
8 to 2, 2 to 0.
Yeah,
So,
that seems reasonable.
now, if he has enough mana to do that and still be able to do the Teleria West action, I think
Yep.
that's great. Now, he's going to target. He sees this play right away.
It's 2 damage either way.
And now he gets to attack. Obviously, it's tapping to attack because Ollie redirected it over to Spellskite. Chris is going to trigger his Primeval Titan. He'll go searching. We'll see what Chris is going to go searching for. It could be the Growth Chamber plus Teleria West combo. We've seen that from him so many times this game. So there is the Growth Chamber. Here is Teleria West. He'll pick up Teleria West. That'll go to the grip. He'll shuffle away. We'll see if Ollie has any interest in blocking with Spellskite here.
Probably not. Ollie gets to pick up the last Teleria West. If Spellskite leaves, then the Titans will start getting haste.
Cavern of Souls is the land, likely naming Giant, but we'll get confirmation. This will allow Chris to transmute.
Yeah, it's important to note that that's the last Teleria West in the deck, so Titans aren't getting them anymore.
Here's Chalice of the Void. That's on 1. That's fun. That actually stops a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what you talked about.
It's good.
Yeah, because now if Chris draws Stirrings and Serum Visions and Amulets, who cares? He's all in on this Titan thing.
He needs to draw an untapped. Well, yeah, it's close. I guess that probably stops more outs.
Ollie needs land 7. Does Ollie have land 7? Ah, he has Wormcoil.
That'll work.
That will work just fine. Big top deck there for Aintrazi.
Yeah, so I don't know if Chris has kept the Slaughter Pact in his deck. That will affect that turn. So I think if he's kept the Slaughter Pact, he doesn't want to transmute because the Slaughter Pact could win this for him now. He could slaughter the Spellskite. Maybe would have to wait a turn or do something to go get the Slayer Stronghold, or sorry, the Sunhome, but then could attack through the Wormcoil.
Sure. Thanks. Chris's draw this turn, I believe, was a copy of Primeval Titan. So this means that he can get a little bit bigger on the board.
Yeah. Well, and he can force Ollie to use Spellskite as well. He can try to give the Titan haste. But even then, Ollie might just let the attack.
I think he would just let it happen.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll just trade with that one.
And this is something you can do actually against Amulet Gloom, is you can actually run them out of threats in some matchups. I mean, Chris just doesn't have much left in his deck that does anything. He's got a couple Titans he can top deck. I assume, yeah, he's got some Hive Minds he could draw, but he doesn't even have packs in hand.
No way to search for the packs either.
And Ollie can pay for them. That wouldn't really work. So there's not, you can actually, this is something, when Jeskai Control was bigger, which would sometimes happen, you had to be careful because if they pathed and Snapcaster pathed all your Titans, your deck didn't do anything.
Sure. Vesuva and Sunholm. Those have been the weapons of choice. Vesuva is going to copy a bounce land. It copies Boros Garrison, so you get your trigger, pick up my Sunholm. I think we're going to have to replay my Sunholm in just a second. Now, Chris is going to activate and target the Primeval Titan. Now, I like this because it's like a free roll, and Ollie's actually going to take 2 from this. I love that play by Chris because it's basically a free roll, and I don't think Chris had any intentions of attacking anyway.
Yeah, if Ollie doesn't let him do that, I don't know that Chris attacks. But this game is looking like it's going to go Ollie's way again. As soon as he gets that land for the Karn, then things are difficult.
Yeah.
A lot can change. But the problem is that Chris isn't drawing to anything anymore. He just doesn't have cards left in his deck. He has another Titan. He could top deck a Titan again. That would be very good. But
well, the tough spot here for Ollie, let's say he doesn't draw a land next turn for his Karn. He can't attack with Wormcoil Engine.
Yep.
Chris says, okay, I'll take it. You go to 10, I'll kill you on the swing back.
Right, no, but Ollie can block. He can just do nothing.
Yeah, he can just do nothing, which I think is what he needs to continue to do. Now, right now, we'll focus on the draw step because the land is a big deal. Didn't get a great look at it. Expedition map.
Well, there's a chalice on one.
There sure is.
Yeah, at this point, we talked about Crucible Ghost Quarter. I don't even think that matters because I don't think Chris cares if he loses his lands.
Yeah, I think we're past that point in the game. Yeah, again, if you're Ali right now, if you don't have another play, you can't attack with a Wormcoil Engine. You'll go up to 10. Chris will attack back with 2 Titans. That's 12 power. You do 12 minus 4. That's 8 as far as trample damage is concerned. And then an activation of either of those lands in Slayer Stronghold or Sunholm will take care of it.
I mean, the Sunholm will force what Chris can do to kill Ollie here is he can pre-combat
activate
Sunholm on a Titan, and then if Ollie, so Ollie will have to spell skite it, and then he'll go to 2, and then he'll do nothing.
Yep.
And he can use Sunholm to just shock every turn. It's not pretty, but it works.
Can't attack.
I don't think he can do it yet. He can take one shock off the Sunholm.
Certainly don't concede.
Yeah.
It looked like he was almost going to concede. Don't concede.
This game is so interesting as to just exactly what this is coming to.
Chris draws a Sledge in Sanctuary. That one doesn't matter. Now,
if Chris swings both creatures, Ollie will have to block with Spellskite.
Yeah.
Because Chris can swing, he can do the pre-combat Sunholm trick. Ollie goes to 2. Swings with them both. If Ollie only blocks with Wormcoil Engine, then he would go up to 8, but the Slayer Stronghold will push 8 through.
Can he activate bolt this turn?
If he has red, white, he can do that. I assume
the Vesuva is a Boros Garrison, so he does.
Yep. So yes, he can. So the downside is he'd be trading a Titan with a Wormcoil to make that play. The upside is he would be getting rid of Spellskite, so the Titan left over would be unstoppable. And I think that sounds worth it.
I think we're in lethal territory, right? You attack with both of these, you get your triggers, all that stuff, right? So this is an attack for 12. So let's say that Ollie's at a virtual 10 right now. Okay.
Yep.
You activate Sunholm, he takes 2.
He goes down to 8.
You activate. Well, he hasn't gotten the life yet. So he goes down to 2, and then you activate Slayer Stronghold on the Titan that is being blocked by Spellskite. That becomes an 8 power creature.
Yep.
So then 8 minus 4 is 4. Well, he's at 2. He goes up to. Okay, so he's not dead yet.
Right,
so,
but he loses the Spellskite.
Yeah, he does lose the Spellskite. His Wormcoil Engine cracks into 2 pieces. Chris loses a Titan.
But Chris now has access to all of his utility lands for the remaining Titan to make that guy really tough to beat.
True.
It's a trade-off. But
and
then
a big one.
If Ollie hits the land for the Karn, it's a trade-off that won't go well for Chris.
Yeah, there's that whole thing. So do we like this attack from Chris, or the play that we mentioned earlier of just activate Sunhome, see what you do, which is almost certainly redirect, pass.
I like the activate Sunhome line, I believe.
Okay. You saw the lands that Chris searched up. The only one that really matters there is Colony Garden. Gets a 0-1 plant, which really doesn't have a huge impact on things, though, for what it's worth, that thing could get a little bit bigger given the lands that Chris has in play. So Chris is going to start by activating the Sunhome here. We'll see which one he's going to target. He'll target the Primeval Titan that's being blocked by Wormcoil Engine.
Right.
Ollie's going to pay 2 life. He'll go down to 2. So now Spellskite's a real tough guy. Chris is now going to activate Slayer's Stronghold on that Primeval Titan that's being blocked by Spellskite.
Spellskite is a double striking 0-4. Yes, he's...
Don't mess with that. Really
He'll
mean.
hit you twice. So... Titan already has trample. That's not going to do too much. But Ollie will take... He'll go down to 4 as an end result.
Up to 8, down to 4, gets a 3/3 lifelinker and a 3/3 death toucher.
Right. So the thing is that this line is softer to Karn than just making the Sunhome play, which Ollie has. And Chris may suspect because he's been sitting on 6 lands and not really some cards he's not playing.
I mean, if you're Chris right now, okay, Ollie, your hand is either Karn, Ugin, O-Stone,
Emrakul.
potentially Emrakul, or it's 1 mana spells. Now, for Aintrazi, as he knocks the deck, is it land number 7? It's Grove of the Burn Willows, which means he's casting Karn Liberated to take care of a Primeval Titan. A big draw there from Aintrazi.
Wow, so there's the Karn. That'll take care of the Primeval Titan for Chris VanMeter, and he's going to be out of threats.
Is he fresh out of Titans now?
He's out of Teleria Wests. He's got some Titans left in his deck. I believe 2 left in his deck.
But even now at this point, I
He's
guess
just gotta draw him.
Yeah, he's got to draw him and give him. If he draws Titan or Pact, he can still win
Yes.
because he can just play Titan, give it haste, and give it double strike, rock and roll.
Yeah, he has enough mana to do everything.
Yeah, to do everything. Ollie gonna attack here.
Just the lifelink worm.
Gonna go up to 7.
You have to leave back a worm because otherwise Chris will 2-0 and double strike the plant and kill Karn. No, that's actually a misstep that you could make here. Be like, swing 6. I'd be like, kill your Karn with his plant. And then you'd feel bad.
Chris has redraws. Chris gonna knock his deck now. How did you do? Serum Visions means more redraws.
All right, Serum Visions is great. Except that there's a Chalice for 1 in play.
That's true. So that's gonna get countered because of, that should get countered, yeah, because of Serum Visions. Yep, so that's not gonna be a redraw. And Chris just didn't even realize it. I got excited about it too.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, and so
he knows it.
If you're Chris here, I think, because the Karn's in play, I think you have to maybe play a bounce land and pick up the Slayer Stronghold so you can still have the ability to give your Titan haste.
Well, wait. He can 2-0 if he has enough mana for this, he can 2-0 his plant token. He can, he only has 1 land drop. Right? Yeah, he only has 1 land drop to work with. If he had a Summer Bloom, if you had a Summer Bloom, we have some plays where he could, 2-0 the plant token, 2-0 the plant token, double strike the plant token, and maybe win.
Yep, doesn't have it now. You got the Death Touch token in front of the plant token, so you're going to have it get +2/+0 and
double strike,
so it'll trade.
And deal 1.
No trample.
No trample.
Yeah,
No
trample. No Titan.
No, you're right. Just trades.
Oh, refuel.
Yep. No, these things matter. These guys are actually real.
How'd we do? Ali.
Yeah. Okay. Gonna say that still is his play then.
I think the elevator on Karn's gonna be going up here. Karn isn't even a permanent reprieve in things. It merely let Ali not die.
I mean, the lifelink worm is really good.
It's problematic right now. But it's also very slow at finishing the game, and a lot of Ali's ways to cement the game and to be able to redraw with spheres and stars and stirrings and map, that's off because of Chalice.
One thing that Chris wants to do is if he has bounce lands in his hand, he needs to not play them so that if he at any point draws a Summer Bloom, he can get multiple Slayer's activations.
Okay.
Or perhaps multiple plant tokens or other things that are really silly.
Karn's taken up to 7. There's an Ancient Stirrings. No, sir. Pass the turn back.
I like the commitment that Ollie keeps throwing those things into
You're
the
supposed
Chalice.
to. It's his Chalice.
Yep.
Keep casting them. If he misses, you are happy. Chris wants to draw a Primeval Titan.
Can you do it?
Chris drew a Hive Mind.
Well, there's no Pact of Negation left in Chris's deck. There are Summoner's Packs left, but Ollie can pay for those.
Yep.
And we don't know if he's boarded in Slaughter Pact.
Okay.
Or rather, whether he boarded out Slaughter Pact.
Go get him, Plant. Teach him a lesson. Here it comes, yep. So we're going to get the same interaction we saw last time. It's going to be a 2-1
Double strike.
double strike. Those will trade. Ollie will gain 3 life. He'll go up to 10. Chris will play a Gruul Turf, probably pick up the Colony Garden so we can go planting again.
Well, yeah, you can put into play, and it has haste, 2-1 double strike.
Aintrazi draws a card, didn't get a great look at it. Karn is going to go down.
If he gets Slayer Stronghold, the plants don't do anything anymore.
Long gone.
And now he has an insurance policy against Titans as well because they don't have haste.
Yep. That was my concern on if you're supposed to pick up the Colony Garden or if you're supposed to pick up the Slayer Stronghold in that situation.
You may want to pick up Slayers and hang on to it until the turn you're going to use it.
Yeah, until the turn you peel Titan.
Yep.
I think that's what Chris needs to do in that spot. Because now his Slayer Stronghold is gone forever.
Chris doesn't really have great outs anymore.
Yep.
Now that he doesn't have the Strongholds.
Here's a Sylvan Scrying. Can't chalice that one, my friend. So this means Ollie can go and get himself an Eye of Ugin.
And that's the play, I assume.
Maybe. And the only reason it's maybe is because in all of this, we have forgotten that Ollie does not have Tron. He had to hardcast Karn.
Yeah, he still doesn't
So
have
maybe
that.
he needs to go get the other piece of the Tron. He's got Tower and Power Play. He doesn't have an Urza's Mind in play.
Yeah, and it's hard for him to find those also with a Chalice for 1 in play. But he's going to get Eye.
And he might be better off now searching for Eye because there's only 1 Eye in his deck, and there are more, of course, Urza's Minds than Eye, so he can just naturally draw the Urza's Mind, and then Tron turns on, and then he goes crazy. He goes nuclear with Emrakul and all of that stuff. The math just dictates that he has a better chance of finding Eye now with Scrying, and instead of just naturally trying to find it.
Yeah, he has one Eye in the deck.
There are more virtual copies of Mind with actual Mind and Scrying than Eye and Scrying. Did Chris just draw a Titan? I'm not too sure.
I think it's a Summer Bloom. What Chris can do is he can start running out these Hive Minds. Or if he has a pact, at some point he can try to set up a turn where if he draws multiple Hive Minds, he can play multiple Hive Minds in a pact in 1 turn. That could be good enough to get Ollie. Ollie does have right now 8 mana and double green, so you have to have 3 Hive Minds. And I think Chris may have enough mana to play 3 Hive Minds in a pact in 1 turn.
Well, he's done with Hive Mind.
All right. Karn went ahead and took that one.
That explains a lot, too. If he's tossing Hive Mind over there, to me, that means, okay, he doesn't have Slaughter Pact left in his deck. Because if he did, he'd be able to Slaughter Pact his own plant token, give Ollie a copy of the Slaughter Pact, and Ollie wouldn't be able to pay for it. So that means that's off the table. Serum Visions doesn't do anything. Seal of Primordium in this instance doesn't do very much either.
Yeah, and I like that Chris is boarded in Seal of Primordium, I think, to deal with Crucible of Worlds.
Now, Chris does have a weird play that he can make, which is play Seal of Primordium, blow up my Chalice, so I can cast Serum Visions.
Then Ollie will feel foolish for throwing all those spells into the Chalice of the Void.
But then Ollie's 1-mana spells are back on, so yep, there it is. Whatever it takes, we're in the finals of the tournament.
Well, I mean, and it's what he needs to do right now. You're absolutely right. He sees a Primeval Titan, and he drew Summoner's Pact, and he can scry for Primeval Titan.
It's not a hasty Primeval Titan, though.
I mean, his deck's out of stuff.
I know.
It's got 2 6/6s left in it, and you're trying to beat Karn with them. It's difficult.
Karn is not impressed by Primeval Titan. Does not care. And this is what you talked about, how you can actually, in a weird way, run this deck out of threats.
Yeah,
it's really strange.
And there was every saying, letting Slayer Stronghold get exiled was.
I think it was a misstep.
Yep, I believe so.
I think it was a misstep. He got so focused on the plant strategy that it doesn't seem, and it's tough given how convoluted and crazy this board is, that he just missed that interaction, that Karn is going to take that away from him.
Yeah, I believe he scried the Titan to the bottom, meaning he's probably trying to go back to a Hive Mind plan.
I don't know if there is a plan.
Well, he pitched Hive Mind to Karn, and he's scrying Titans to the bottom, so I'm not entirely sure what he's working with, unless he's kept Yeah, I don't see offhand what he's going for.
Yeah, I was thinking of something like Dragon Lord Jamoka, but I can't imagine that's in the deck.
Doesn't have haste.
Yeah, didn't board. Well, I don't want to say didn't because I've seen stranger things happen, but I can't imagine he boarded in Hornet Queen. And if he did, I don't think it's going to matter now because Ali just picked up a copy of Ugin.
This is the Tronless Tron deck, just playing Karns on 7, Wormcoils on 6.
Sometimes you got to work for your wins, Matthias. Sometimes it's just got to be fair. Star's going to cycle. Nature's claims the draw.
And what a game here. Ali Aintrazi looking to go up 2-0.
There's more work to be done, but Ali is certainly in a good spot right now. He doesn't have Tron, but he's got just about everything else. Karn's going to be ticking up, it seems. Wormcoil Engine is now on the battlefield, and though Chris is at 27, and that's quite a bit, Wormcoil hits pretty hard. So does Ugin.
Yeah, whether it hits hard or not, Chris just out of cards in his deck. All the Teleria Wests are gone. He's lost a lot of his utility lands. And Chris continues to pitch lands away to the Karn. Checks his graveyard. There's not much left for him here.
Is he picking up the permanents? It doesn't appear that he is yet.
And it will be a Primeval Titan for Chris.
He can get it, yeah. And now it's gotten to the point. Here's the ragtag gang of Tendo Icespiration Radiant Fountain. Chris gonna gain a little bit of life, but Primeval Titan's outclassed now. Now he's gonna summon us back for another Primeval Titan. Unfortunately for Chris, he can't give haste. He can search up some more lands if he even has any left in the deck. Looks like he has at least one.
There's a gemstone mine.
Only one left. A lot of the times when playing this deck, you want to draw Summer Bloom and Amulet. Not anymore.
If you look at the cards left in his deck, they're just Amulets, Summer Blooms.
Serum Visions, probably.
Yeah, some of those. There's nothing in it. He does have multiple Primeval Titans in play. I don't think that's going to matter, though. Karn happened, and now we see Urza's Mine from Ali.
It's showtime. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, he's got enough mana to cast. The towers are 3 apiece. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ugin. I have Ugin as 12, 13, 14, 15. They're going to count it together, but he's got enough. And that is going to do it. Ali Aintrazi is going to win a marathon game number 2 here over Chris VanMeter. Oh, man. Green-Red Tron. Amulet Bloom, they're going to head to a third game. Aintrazi is in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, he's up 2-0. We saw the Ghost Quarter plan do really well game 1 to get this for him. Game 2 was spectacular there, though, for Ali. We really just had this situation where Chris's deck got pretty fair. His draws weren't fast enough, and eventually his threats didn't match up well against Ali.
These players are going to shuffle up here for game number 3. For those of you unaware, and that's borderline impossible, Grand Prix Charlotte is next weekend. If you're not familiar with the information about it, you want to re-familiarize yourself, we're going to let you guys do that right now while these players shuffle. So, learn more about it from Evan Irwin.
On June 12th through 14th, StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Charlotte, and this event is going to be huge. For the first time ever, StarCityGames.com is offering 4 registration tiers to customize your Grand Prix experience: Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Platinum. And with our Show Up and Play free registration, you won't have to wait in a check-in line to get your rewards. Players who opt in for the Bronze tier will receive an exclusive Noble Hierarch playmat, Gristlebrand GP promo, and 1 month of StarCityGames.com Premium. At the Silver tier, you'll receive everything included at the Bronze level: an 80-count pack of Noble Hierarch card sleeves, your SCG Premium upgraded from 1 month to 3, along with a voucher good for a free 8-player on-demand side event. And what's better than Silver? Gold, of course. Our gold tier gives you everything included in silver, but includes a second 80-count pack of Noble Hierarch sleeves, a Noble Hierarch deck box, an exclusive Noble Hierarch collectible pin, upgrades your SCG premium time to 6 months, plus a set of all-new collectible trading cards featuring the faces of SCG Live: Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, and Matthias Hunt. The gold tier also includes a sleep-in special, letting you skip Saturday morning's player meeting as long as you have one or more buys, along with the ability to pick up all of your registration rewards at any point during the weekend. But nothing shines brighter than Platinum, and those who opt for our Platinum tier will receive everything within the Gold tier, along with a second 8-player side event voucher, a second Noble Hierarch deck box, a third 80-count pack of Noble Hierarch sleeves, an upgraded voucher good for an entire year of SCG Premium, plus a set of those all-new SCG Live collectible trading cards in both foil and non-foil. It also comes with a VIP badge and lanyard, an SCG water bottle, access to our exclusive VIP lounge featuring water stations with unlimited refills, phone and electronics charging stations, a dedicated concierge, and private pairings boards. Don't want to play in the main event? Pick up an Infinite Challenge badge. These 1-day and 3-day badges let you play in as many challenge events that you want for one low price. The 1-day badge comes with a free 8-player side event voucher, while the 3-day Infinite Challenge badge comes with 2 free 8-player side event vouchers and the exclusive GP Charlotte Noble Hierarch playmat. Want to get your hands on some more packs of those sweet Noble Hierarch sleeves? Grand Prix Charlotte will give you plenty of chances to do so. On Friday at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m., Grand Prix Charlotte will offer 3 Dragons of Tarkir Sealed Spectacular events. If you like value, these events are for you. For just $20, every player who participates in a Sealed Spectacular will receive an 80-count pack of Noble Hierarch sleeves, 4 Dragons of Tarkir, and 2 Fate Reforged booster packs with which to build their decks, plus have a shot at winning tons of additional prizes. Additional packs of Noble Hierarch sleeves will also be awarded to each of Friday's Grand Prix trial winners and every player who enters the Super Sunday Series. Looking to score more exclusive Noble Hierarch deck boxes? Winning any 8-player on-demand side event will get you one all weekend long. No GP is complete without special guests, and we have plenty joining us at Grand Prix Charlotte. From 4 to 6 p.m. on Friday, come meet and greet SCG Live broadcasters Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan. This is open to everyone and a perfect opportunity for Gold and Platinum tier registrants to get their SCG Live trading card signed. From 6 to 8 p.m., come say hello to the Dragon Master Brian Kibler and the author of both Next Level Magic and Next Level Deck Building, the innovator himself, Patrick Chapin. A number of Magic's most popular artists will be joining us, including our 2 guests of honor, Therese Nielsen and Volkan Baga. Therese has illustrated some of the game's most iconic cards, including Force of Will and Eternal Witness, while Volkan is coming all the way from Germany ready to sign your Mox Opals, Siege Rhinos, Snapcaster Mages, and more. Artists Noah Bradley, Clint Kearley, Eric Deschamps, Jason A. Engel, Mark Poole, and RK Post will also be in attendance, along with cosplayer extraordinaire Christine Sprankle, showing off her brand new Noble Hierarch costume. Can't make it to Grand Prix Charlotte? You can still be a part of the show. Tune in to SCG Live for live coverage of the main event all weekend long with your hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan, and join the discussion on social media using the hashtag GPCharlotte. On June 12th through 14th, StarCityGames.com presents Grand Prix Charlotte, and you're invited to the party. Pre-register today at StarCityGames.com/GPCharlotte, and we'll see you there.
We're back, and hopefully we'll see in Charlotte. VanMeter, for game number 3, is casting an Ancient Stirrings off of a Gemstone Mine. So we'll take a look at the top 5, and we'll see what he is working with here. He's got at least a Summer Bloom and an Amulet. That's a winning combination.
Yeah, Seth definitely has a Summer Bloom. Maybe a Hive Mind. He's going to go ahead and take Sun home, though. Summer Bloom is much more important. It's still very important here. It's the card you want in all your openers, for sure. Second Summer Bloom, well, there's some costs of doing business.
A Chromatic Star off of an Urza's Power Plant there for Aintrazi.
Yes, I believe he actually just has Hive Mind and Summer Bloom. He has 2 blooms, a Hive Mind, a bounce land, and 2 other lands. So he can bloom his way up to 5 mana, at which point he'll just be sitting there waiting for a 6th for the Hive Mind, and then waiting for a pact to try to win.
All right, well, there's our bloom. He's already played 1 land. He gets 3 more. Number 1 is a Simic Growth Chamber. Pick up a Gemstone Pine. Mine is number 2. Mine is number 3. Pretty simple stuff. 2, 3, 4, 5 mana available going into the next turn. On Aintrazi, we'll see if he has a Ghost Quarter maybe to slow Chris down.
Yeah, he's not, I mean, Chris isn't the only deck, though, trying to ramp into something. You see second Tron piece available for Ollie in his hand. He has the Mine and the Power Plant. Don't know if he has Tower naturally.
I think if you're Ollie, and we don't have the best look at his hand at this point, but it looks like he's about to play another Tron piece in Urza's mind. I want to start by cracking Star and trying to run into a Ghost Quarter. Chris's next turn could lead into anything.
I mean,
and I want to slow him down.
It's not unreasonable for Chris just to have land 6 Titan.
Yeah. I want to slow him down. I want to kill the Growth Chamber. Chris picked up a copy of Seal of Primordium. That's actually pretty good.
I think it's Colony Garden.
Is it? Oh,
It's
okay.
Colony, yeah, which is great. It's land 6.
Yep.
He needed one of those. Now, he doesn't have any packets yet, but it doesn't mean if he draws a pack next turn, he'll win.
Yep. There's a Garden Plant token. Kick it over. Ali is going to sacrifice the map, it looks like. Maybe. If it was Seal that turn he drew, I think Chris would have just killed the map, but it wasn't Seal, it was Colony Garden. So, Aintrazi going to sacrifice the map. Now, of course, the question is, Tower of Power or Ghost Quarter? Thinking. And he does have Ghost Quarter in hand. I believe that it was his draw for the turn, and he's going to take a tower.
I like this. Just, he has Karn in hand. Just turn 3. Well, it's turn 4 Karn, isn't it?
It'll be a turn 4 Karn, but what he can do now is he can say, okay, search my tower, play Ghost Quarter, kill your Growth Chamber, and then next turn, play my tower for my Karn. And even if Chris were to do something along the lines of peel a land to play Hive Mind, Ali can just say, okay, kill your Hive Mind.
Right. Chris can't draw the land and the pact.
And I like a Ghost Quarter on the Growth Chamber here.
Oh, yeah. That definitely seems like the line. There is a lot of play for Tron in this matchup. Chris did not have any of the explosive amulet hands that we were talking about. And when they play Fair Magic, this is anyone's game.
Ali going to pass the turn back. You're going to see him crack the Ghost Quarter in Chris's draw step, hoping Chris does draw the Forest. Chris drew a copy of Primeval Titan.
Well, but it would have been good if he had gotten to use the mana off the Growth Chamber. But as it stands, he's going to just lose that, get a Forest, and will not have any plays. His hand is Summer Bloom, Primeval Titan, and Hive Mind. It does mean if he gets to ever up to 6 land, it's going to be very bad for Ali. He'll be able to use the Summer Bloom to actually do even more.
Much like the first game that we watched, Chris was always just one land away from getting to land number 6, and it feels much like that again. Aintrazi's going to draw a card. He's already got Tron, picked up a copy of Nature's Claim, and it appears he has Karn in hand as well.
Just go with the lands. That's what he wants to do.
Oh, yeah. It's land destruction time.
I would even go as far as start with Gemstone Mines. Yep,
that's where he's going to start.
That's what we'll do. Ali playing this matchup so well over the course of these 3 games.
VanMeter will draw a card.
It's a bounce land. Now, he's tempted to play it, but I think this is a situation where he shouldn't.
Needs to draw Amulet?
Yes.
Okay.
If he plays the bounce land, Ali's just going to exile it with Karn. He has extra things in his hand to get rid of. He can get rid of one of his 6-drops. I think he hangs on to the bounce land here. As much as that seems gross.
It seems backwards, maybe a little counterintuitive, but I'm with you because if he peels Amulet or if he peels Stirrings into Amulet, then he can go wild. And if he plays Gruul Turf, it's just going to get killed. Now, I think what Chris might be doing is just say, I'm going to cast Summer Bloom, play Gruul Turf. This allows him to play Gruul Turf and replay the land.
But then he won't be able to get up to 6 mana.
Yeah.
This takes a... Ali's going to blow up Chris's lands.
Yeah.
That's the problem here. And now he'll be back on 4 mana. He won't have made any progress, and now he's lost the Summer Bloom. I think his out was slim, but I think he just got rid of it.
Aintrazi's going to start maybe by sacrificing a star. Ali's got a lot of great draws in this situation. I mean, the easiest thing to do is probably just Karn that Gruul Turf, but he can also work his way into Crucible, he can work his way into Ghost Quarter, he can work his way into searching for a Ghost Quarter. He picked up a copy of Eye of Ugin off of that star cycle. He's got a sphere that he can play that he can also keep going cycling.
Yeah, the Crucible plan, as much as I said it was very scary here, it looks like it may never come up this match.
It may not, but if he runs into it now, this is over. There's another Ghost Quarter. That's a strip mine right now.
I mean, don't let up on the lands. As far as saying Karn, exile, Gruul Turf, Ghost Quarter, strip Ghost Quarter, get rid of the Gemstone Mine, go. I am on board for this
Yeah.
if I'm Ollie.
I want to play a land destruction game.
Yeah.
Just keep nuking them.
You have an Eye of Ugin, you have Tron already set. This seems fine. Keeping Karn is tempting, and he'll do that. He's probably safe because he has the Ghost Quarter.
Yep. Maybe cashing in Karn there is a little aggressive.
So okay. If you what you'd lose to is a combination of, say Chris had kept the Gruul Turf in hand, right? Then double LD and Chris doesn't actually do anything to solve the problem. So going at Chris's hand is a better way of attacking it than attacking his lands. So plussing Karn is reasonable then.
There's Oblivion Stone. That's a nice set of protection there. Now there's Ghost Quarter. That's going to take care of Gruul Turf. Back to VanMeter we go. He'll take a draw. It's an Ancient Stirrings, and this is what we talked about where he could backdoor an Amulet.
If this Ancient Stirrings finds an Amulet, then Chris will have missed a way to win here. And I don't believe it did. It's only found bounce lands, so. But you're right, this could have hit.
Looks like Boros Garrison.
Yeah, but as we know, Chris he's going to just keep losing 2 lands a turn.
Yeah, at least 1, potentially 2.
Right. Hive Mind, the only other card in his hand. Picks up his basic. Yeah, with such a few cards in hand, yeah, there is some incentive for Ollie just to continue plussing Karn.
Here's a star. The potential to cycle him so much more. It's a copy of Ugin.
And what a weekend for Tron. At the Modern Open this weekend, just finishing behind us. That one won by Green Red Tron as well.
Claire Bigelow, the champion of that 890-person Modern Premier IQ with Tron. And now Ali Aintrazi is certainly in the driver's seat right now. He's got a Karn in play and a Oblivion Stone for safety. And now Ugin the Spirit Dragon is here.
Not even Ghost Courting. We're just gonna go for Ugin. And what a run from Ollie. It's looking like it may be a double Tron weekend for Modern. Another runner-up finish for Amulet Bloom.
These 2 decks coming in the tournament, a lot of people felt they were very, very well positioned. We talked about it during the pregame show as well. Amulets, the power level of the deck is through the charts, as Chris has demonstrated many times this weekend when we've watched him play. Tron is quite powerful as well. And Tron is doing a nice job right now of keeping Chris's lands in check. He just picked up another copy of Selesnya Sanctuary, but that's just going to set him even further back.
Yeah, well, they're the 2 decks in Modern that really just play 6, 7, 8 drops. They ramp into big things, which was a good place to be this weekend.
Sunholm is the land that's going to be picked up by the Sanctuary. Chris will pass the turn back here as he has nothing else to do. His hand right now, just a couple of lands and a copy of Hive Mind. Aintrazi will untap all those Urzatron lands. He'll take a draw, picked up a copy of Ancient Stirrings. Do not believe he has a source of green mana at this point. There's Eye of Ugin. That can go searching for win conditions. He's got access to 9 mana currently. If we're doing an Eldrazi count, it's actually 11 with the Eye. Karn will take care of Selesnya Sanctuary. Ugin's going to tick up.
And we can talk about the Eldrazi count. We could also just talk about the land count on Chris's side. It's down to 2.
Yep. Ali may go searching right now, perhaps from Warm Coil Engine. Could also potentially search for Spellskite if he'd like. The world is his oyster at this point. He will go with Spellskite to give himself some protection. Playing very, very, very safe right now is Aintrazi.
And with the 2, we saw this as well in the top 4. The team of Karn and Ugin just pulling away on these boards.
Gemstone Mine the draw. Gemstone Mine will come in with 3 mine counters past the turn back.
So if you're in Chris's spot, you'd like to hope that you could put together maybe a running draws of Amulet of Vigor, Summer Bloom, Bounce Land, Hive Mind, Pact, something like that. That doesn't a combo that can win without cards in your hand. The issue is that while he's putting that together, a Karn plussing will take cards at a rate that's too quickly for Chris to ever assemble that set.
And it's not like Ali's doing nothing over there.
You know, Chris has got a 2-card hand. If Ollie just keeps plussing the Karn, Chris will never get more than 2 cards. And he needs about a 4 or 5 card hand to combo off nothing.
Ali going to pass with 13 mana available, 11 in Tron mana, 2 in Aintrazi mana, and that is going to do it. Ali Aintrazi is your Season 2 champion here in Columbus, Ohio. Congratulations to him getting the job done with Green-Red Tron. Maybe a little bit of an upset here in the finals, getting past CVM, playing Amulet Bloom. A great tournament for CVM, no doubt, but your champion is the player on the left, and he'll be in Roanoke at the end of the year. It's Ali Aintrazi.